results of seeing it? Very clean.
So West of the Pecos is a very early Robert Mitchum Western. In fact, it's only his second starring role ever. After this, he went to the war and his career went on hold, I guess, for that time. But this is a really comedic, jokey kind of Western, goofball Western, with lots of kind of Keystone Cops kind of comedic action. So if you're not into that, then beware. It's not a straight-laced, ordinary Western, this. But it's saved really by the central duo of Mitchum and Barbara Hale, especially Barbara Hale, who's really terrific in this film. She's just a comedic joy to watch, really natural and funny and charming. There's not a lot of plot in this film. Basically, her father's not well, Barbara Hale's father's not well, and they move to Texas to do up this hacienda that they own, this old crumbling hacienda, for his health, to get out into the fresh air and that. And basically, when she hits this rough Texan town, she gets lots of unwanted attention from the men, the cowboys. So she dons this cowboy outfit and pretends to be this cocky young cowboy. And Robert Mitchum doesn't realize that she's just a woman in a cowboy outfit for the rest of the movie, or most of the movie, anyway. Which is really funny because it's not kind of obvious that she's just a woman in a cowboy outfit. But there's lots of comedic kind of moments from that situation, lots of kicking each other in the pants and goofballing around and awkward moments between the sexes. But they have a lot of chemistry, and that kind of turns into romance by the end, of course. But there's not a lot of plot in this film. Mitchum's this cowboy, Pecos Smith, who they meet on the way to the hacienda, and he helps them out from a few scrapes. And he's being chased by this vigilante group run by the local villain for shooting one of his men in revenge. But there's not a lot of plot in this film, and the villains are kind of rubbish. They're not really defined that well, and yeah, it's a really forgettable plot and forgettable Western in that regard, story-wise. It's just a jokey kind of fun Western, and they've got a lot of chemistry on screen together. Mitchum and Barbara Hale. There's lots of comedy between them, and they are charming to watch, and that really saves the film, really, for me. But even at 68 minutes, it does kind of get a little bit wearisome by the end. But Barbara Hale is terrific. She really is exceptionally good in the part, and really funny and naturally charming. And Mitchum's fine in his very early role. No sign of his major stardom to come, I wouldn't say, but he doesn't have a lot to do. In fact, he just really lets Barbara Hale run wild, and she steals every scene she's in, basically, willingly. So that's West of the Pecos. Not a bad comedic Western if you're into that. If not, beware, I would say.